So is this where you expected to be at 24 years old with your life? If so, no, why or why not? If so or if so not?
Okay.
Well, I don't know if well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Um. No, I don't think I expected to be where I'm um at 24. I think after I graduated, I did a lot of very big life stuff.
Hmm.
Like after I graduated, I immediately got married. Then I got my first apartment with someone, my
Your
husband,
roommate?
my roommate. Um, I did, and then now like I have a job, and it wasn't really the job that I was expecting. Like if you would have asked me a few years ago,
I'd say more so career.
yeah, career is the biggest surprise to me right now. Um, like obviously I have a degree, and right now I'm taking over a business, and that wasn't the career path that I really planned for myself, but I'm really happy with it and I'm content, you know?
Hmm.
And I think I'm doing a really good job. So I feel good about it, but it definitely wasn't the plan, I would say. Like obviously going into grad school, I thought I'd be working in that field, but I learned a lot, and I kind of had like a reality check when I was in grad school that maybe this isn't what I thought it was. I don't know. I kind of lost or became confused about my passions during that time. I came in very like excited and very enthusiastic, and I kind of left being confused and unsure. And I don't know if that helped lead into the career path that I'm in now, or if that was kind of just like life stuff that led me there. I feel like it was more life stuff than anything. But nope, I'm not where I thought I was going to be. But I'm happy. What about you?
Um, Putting me on the spot.
Did you plan on getting a master's?
No.
Okay, because I was
So
always curious about that.
so I think like right after I graduated from undergrad,
Hmm.
I I realized that like I was kind of like not like living in the moment,
Yeah.
and I was very like confused. And I found out that I was actually pretty lost because I didn't know what I wanted to like do. Like I knew I wanted to do something like that's in terms of like a job, like a 9 to 5 or whatever job you get with your degree. I knew that, but like it didn't feel like enough because I feel like anybody can pretty much do that. Like as long as you go to college or something or
Mm.
do whatever or start small in a business, you'd end up with like a office corporate type job. So I feel like it's not really that big of a achievement per
Hmm.
se. Not to, you know, put down any people who have it. Like it's pays the bills and stuff. But I feel like it's not like high enough for me. Like I feel
Yeah, it
like
wasn't your goals.
yeah, I feel like I wanted to go higher. So I the one of the reasons why I decided to go to grad school is
Mm.
because I just wanted more time to think about what I wanted to do because I did this like internship before, and I it was for something that I thought I would like, and I didn't end up liking it. So then it kind of switched my thinking to what I like now. And in terms of like 9 to 5 stuff, so it was like banking, but now it's like I really like. I found out I really like marketing, but I think like with the grad school, not because of grad school, but me learning about myself
Hmm.
with the more free time I would have now, that if I did have a 9 to 5 right now, I wouldn't be able to like discover stuff about myself. So I've been learning. Like I think I've learned a lot about myself the past 2 years, more than I did in like my life.
Yeah.
So I was found out like all my interests and what I want to do and stuff like that, and like really thinking about like my skill set and how I can use it to do something that I want to do. So like it's no secret that I make like videos and stuff,
Hmm.
like skits and stuff. So I really feel like I could like I have a really good memory, so I feel like I'd be really good at like doing like acting or something like as a big goal because I could like easily memorize lines and I enjoy it and it's pretty cool to like pretend you're somebody else even though you're not for like a moment and really like get into the moment. And but like in terms of like I'm graduating in a few months, so like the end of the year, so I want to. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but it is what it is. I want to, like get a job with my degree, but still, pursue my other passion. But I
Yeah.
still just keep making like videos and posting them every day. And but yeah, so I feel like I think the question was that I expect to be where I'm at right now. The answer is, he double hockey sticks no. Because I feel like I never would have expected myself to be like this way. I always like kind of grew up like, especially when you have like foreign parents, is just like, school, 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 college, college,
Yeah.
college, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. That's it. And then even like when I used to be like an engineering, computer science type major,
Mhm.
I switching from that to like business was already like I felt like I was already like breaking a barrier. But like
Yeah.
I think like then, but you discover more like what more do you want to do because business is pretty broad in general,
Mhm.
and just like engineering is pretty broad in general. Like you want to need to know what type, like civil, electrical. But so I discovered that like the specific stuff I like about business is like marketing, social media marketing, stuff like that. So that's really what I like to do, and I want to do like that when I do get a 9 to 5 job. But then my bigger goals is to do something bigger like acting or stuff like that. But yeah, and then like you know I have
Yeah.
other goals too, like that I want to achieve.
Yeah. I
But
think
sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. I was gonna say I think for me, like the occupation route, I definitely took what I learned in grad school and what I learned about myself and what my skill set was and what I'm good at. I think that's what I'm applying now. So I feel like the occupation that I'm, in right now, I don't think it's too far from the things that I've been very passionate about because at the end of the day, it kind of narrows down to like leadership, management, stuff like that. And I think taking over is a form of leadership, management, and teamwork and like all the things that I've focused on my entire time in school, like undergrad and grad. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm in right now. So I guess it's not too far from, you know, where I plan to be at some point, but it's just a different route, but the same like stuff almost. Same values.
Yeah, I agree because I feel like with most um like jobs or something, I feel like
Yeah.
it's always good to like aim as high as possible
Mhm.
with things. So I feel like it's always good to like grow. Like I think when I was in undergrad, I did a lot of different jobs, and
Yeah.
I I I gained a lot of different types of experience in many different jobs. But the bad thing was that I was kind of like mainly prioritizing work over school. Not saying I was doing bad in school. I was doing very good in school, but I was not really focused on like what I wanted to do after school, which is why I felt lost. Like after I
Mhm.
graduated, versus like because I was so focused on just like working all the time. Not that I needed to, and just making money.
I was focused on finishing school. And I think that's why I left so confused was because I was so focused on finishing that I wasn't focused on the next plan. Like what's going to happen after I leave.
Yeah, because you get like 4 years, but like you think you have it's a long time, but it flies by, and
Mhm.
then you don't really realize what you want to do. Plus, most of the time, it's like you honestly don't even really have time to sit down and just be like, what do I want to do with my
You
life? Because
don't.
it's like if you're just going to school, working, that's already like most of the day, and then you have like families and stuff like that. So it's like you don't really have time to like sit down and think about what you want to do. And then even when you're in like undergrad, it's very broad stuff they teach you, so it's not even like the core stuff you want to know. So, but I feel like for me, it was just like a lot of learning by myself, doing my own research type thing of
Mhm.
like what I want to do and getting like your own experience, learning on your own more
Yeah.
honestly about yourself. So I feel like that's because I feel like too like one thing about me is like I like to do school online now.
Mhm.
So I noticed that I work better a lot better online than I do in person because I don't like to go. I genuinely don't like going to class. I don't like listening to a teacher talk for like over an hour. I hate it and I never pay attention. So I notice I work better at my own. I enjoy working better at my own pace, and that's something I learned about myself that I wouldn't have known before if I didn't do that experience. So
I will say though, at the age of 24, I do feel a lot more established and secure than I ever thought I might feel like in your early 20s or whatever. Like I always had a feeling, and sounds really bad, but I always had a feeling I was going to be successful because I worked very hard.
that's not bad.
Yeah, I
I
guess
thought
it's
you were gonna say
not.
like you weren't gonna be
No, no,
successful.
no. I always had a feeling that I was going to be successful in some way because I always worked really hard for what I wanted. So like joining all those extracurriculars in school and like always trying to be the best of the best, really. Like I always wanted to be the best or go all the way in whatever I did. So I always felt like I was going to be successful in some way. But I think being in the position I am at the age I am, and a lot of people too, when they come in the restaurant and they realize like I'm me,
Mm-hmm.
it's whatever. Um,
No, it's fine.
whenever they notice and they recognize how young I am, it it's a little, I don't know.
Flattering.
Yeah. It's like I've had somebody tell me like you should be very proud of yourself. And when they say that, it makes me feel good. It's like it's a lot of work, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm. Really good
And
job.
a lot of the coworkers like do pat me on the back and they're like, "You've taken on a lot and you've done a really good job at being a leader and like having the business run as smoothly as it has." So, I don't know, I feel really good about it and I feel like I'm doing a good job. And but at my age, which is what we're kind of focused on, being my age and doing all of that and looking around and being one of the youngest people in the establishment
Mm-hmm.
does make me feel like this came a lot sooner than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz I technically am in the highest position
Mm-hmm.
in the place,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of what I've always sought after.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels pretty good. Did I ever imagine this was going to come as soon as it did? No. I think things that happen in life events is what made it come as soon as it did.
Mm.
Because I feel like if everything that happened from 2020 maybe, see, was it 2020? If everything that happened in 2020 didn't happen, I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now.
Oh,
Like
when
with
you
my
moved.
parents' divorce.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. And I feel like because that happened, that's the reason why I'm where I'm at. Which is not a
Mm.
bad thing, but I don't know, things could have been very, very different. So I definitely didn't expect it to be as soon as it is that I'm taking this position. It's definitely a thing that I thought would happen in like
Oh
way
yeah.
later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of was sprung upon me to like start and then not only start, back at this job, but
Mm-hmm.
also start and run and take over. It kind of happened all at once.
Yeah. Well,
That
sometimes
was
it takes like a
crazy.
bad thing to happen
Yeah,
for like the
the
better
good.
thing to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful. But did I expect it? No. I expected myself to be working in academia. I expected myself to be pursuing a PhD at this moment, which I'm not stopping the PhD route. I just think that maybe I should wait and see if it's something that I would want. Just because I'm not really working in my field directly right now with a master's. So there's no point of me pursuing a PhD if I don't think I'm going to be in the field with a PhD. That's 4 years. So it's like it's a big time commitment. And if I'm not working in it right now directly, I don't think there's a point in me pursuing it if I'm not even sure where I want to be. So when it comes to occupation, I'm still confused. People ask me every day if I'm ever going to pursue something in my field. I don't know. And time will tell. But right now, I think I'm happy where I'm at. I'm comfortable when it comes to the job, and I feel pretty good. Um, but personal life, what did you think about yourself mid-20s personal life? Because I feel like personal and occupation is two completely different stories.
What do you mean
I thought,
personal?
so I got married this year. I thought that I was going to be married a lot sooner. I thought that I was going to
Cocky
be,
much?
huh?
Cocky much?
No, I didn't
No,
expect,
I'm just
yeah, I expected to get married before my master's, but instead I got married after
I'm
my master's.
pulling your chain, as the kids say.
Life is definitely something that you can't like write out, but like if you would have asked me when I was what, 18, 19, where I'd be now, like
Yeah,
I would
you
have
were a
already had a
child.
kid. Yeah, but I'm
You
just
didn't
saying
know
like
anything.
I didn't. But I thought that I'd like be married by now, maybe had a kid or something. But I just got married.
Luis?
But I feel like the marriage part at 24 was perfect timing. I couldn't imagine if it was anytime sooner. I feel like I didn't understand myself enough, and I feel like I wasn't emotionally as stable as I am now.
So what was your question again?
Personal life?
Like,
Did you,
where am I?
where are you now in your personal life? Did you see it being the same way you are right now?
Where am I right now?
Exactly.
I
I mean,
don't
I feel like you're
even
just
know.
chilling.
Where am I right now? I don't know. What do you mean? Like, give me
Like,
like
did you, like, you're 24,
yes,
you're not married.
yes.
Did you see yourself being married mid 20s? Or, like, what's your plan? You don't know?
I don't know. Like, I think
What are you focused on now that might be? Because I feel like right now you're focused on career, fitness, stuff like
mm,
that, lifestyle, career, really.
yeah, I think like I'm the type who I can't really focus on anything else
Okay.
unless it's like myself first.
Okay.
Like cuz currently I'm just a grad student
Right.
and I am not employed. But I well, I mean I technically well, I do an internship, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not paid.
Right.
But I just I took the time not to be employed just to think and because I will be soon, like 2 months. But I will I think part of it was just like the saying like the lost thing again, and I like kind of
Mm.
like took the grad school route to just like do that and think about like what I want to do after. But what I do want to do as like an actual career for myself, which I said was like the acting and stuff. And I think it's just that I will like that 2 years ago I realized like I'm an adult now, so I need to like kind of like not saying like you have to have everything figured out in your 20s, but I kind of want to have like some idea because I feel like when people say you don't have to have it figured out, it's just like delaying the inevitable because it's like
Mm.
you're gonna have to have it figured out eventually. Why not at least put some thought into it
I don't
now?
like the
And
excuse that you're still young.
yeah, because I feel like so should I just be a loser until like 30? I'm not saying I'm a loser because I'm not, but I'm saying like I want to just be like more I guess established is the word. Like
Mhm.
uh I just want to make sure like I'm putting my efforts into other things. Like when I do, my plan is to, you know, get a 9 to 5 job, probably in like marketing when I'm
Mhm.
graduate, and then I want to like use that money that I make from the job either to fund like um maybe like getting a better car,
Mhm.
maybe some type of like house or um funding like making my videos and stuff better. So it's like that type of stuff while, working. So I feel like that's like the thing I'm most focused on right now and just like trying to be done with school. But a personal, I mean, I'm pretty like content. Was the married thing the only personal thing you were talking about, or is there anything else?
Well, I mean, personal, I feel like could be a lot of things. Like, I feel like I'm pretty content,
Because it's like
like
I
with my
wouldn't
personal
mind.
life. Like, I have my circle's small, but it's strong. It's
The
like
circle.
you, Owen, Makina. Can I say names?
Sure. Let's go last names too.
Sito.
No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Social security numbers. No, like my group. I guess you could be
Oh,
a
like
lot of things.
friends.
Friends. Your social life, your personal life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, okay. I get what the question is.
Yeah, mid-20s. Like I don't have a lot of friends, but the quality of my friends are like I think like the group that I am with now and I surround myself with is going to be the group for life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like super small, high quality friendships, ones where everybody puts in the efforts, but they also understand, responsibilities in life and where everybody's at.
I think okay. So to just go one by one, you said the friends thing. Yeah. I mean, we have. I think my friends are. I think I'm pretty more than content with that. Like, I feel like I've had the best friends I've ever had in my life now.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy about that. So I'm like really happy about like the friends I have now. I think like with the married thing you were talking about, like who would be against the idea of being married? Like I guess when it comes, it comes. I don't know.
Yeah. I
That's the
mean,
answer.
yeah, I think well, it could just mean a lot of things. Like for me, I'm pretty content with marriage life, um, and secure with that. Mid-20s,
Yeah,
I
I would want it
think.
to happen mid 20s. I mean, I'm in my mid 20s now, but like I just turned
Inshallah,
24 like what, a
like
month ago or less.
yeah,
So I mean, hopefully, inshallah, soon.
you have a lot of time,
Yeah,
but
still have some 20s left.
yeah, exactly. um, but like that's been going great. I think for friendship, like friends, I'm not confused or lost. I feel pretty comfortable and secure about the friend groups that I surround myself with. I don't party and stuff mid-20s, but I don't think I've ever really done that. Maybe I did it during grad school a little bit, but I don't really do the party scene much.
You just had a Halloween party not 3 days ago.
And
Liar.
would you really count it as a party? It's a gathering, social gathering. Um,
What
what
about all
else?
those drinks you had?
What drinks?
No, I'm kidding. Sodas,
Right, exactly.
water.
Mocktails. Yeah, I don't know. I think mid-20s, it's a very exciting time. It's very secure in many ways, but it's also very confusing in others. But I think the confusing part, honestly, is just if you haven't understood, like, had the time to understand yourself. Because I feel like we didn't really understand ourselves fully until the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, I
Oh,
feel
we're
like two
focused on this
years,
too.
2 years has been the most growth.
We're focused on this too.
What do you mean?
Podcast.
I
No,
know.
focused. Another
Um,
thing.
um, I feel like we've become a lot more established and secure, not only within ourselves, but like a lot of things in life within the past 2 years. So that's what 22 to 24 has been a really big peak time for growth for me, at least. And I think for you as well. But that's just because we had our master's degree.
Mm.
So throughout that process, it kind of gives you that flexibility to focus on yourself. When you have time, focus on yourself, develop yourself, and understand what you like and what you don't like. So I think that's been the most growth that I've had, and I think that's the reason why the marriage for me this year was perfect timing. And I think I would have never known that just because I'm very impulsive.
Well, you do have a very quality husband.
Yeah, that's true.
Very
That
great,
helps.
very great man.
Um, but I think the last 2 years have done so many wonders to my life, and I think it made everything the perfect timing this year. So like after understanding myself and getting some great qualities like patience, especially from him.
I don't have
Um,
patience.
I have patience, which is fantastic, especially as a leader in the
I'm very not patient.
workspace. It'll grow time.
Yeah, I don't think so. I
But
don't know. I don't know why I'm not patient.
I think it comes with who you like your surroundings. Like I don't think I learned patience from him.
I think I'm patient. I'm not patient when I think something doesn't need to be patient for. Does that make sense?
No.
Like if I'm like let's say
Oh, like if you don't need to be, yeah, if you don't need to waste your time on it.
let's say I'm in a Panda Express drive-through, just
Oh
off the
yeah,
top of
well
my head.
that's
No,
annoying.
let me like break it
Okay,
down to you.
go.
And it takes too long. Like I'm mad waiting, but like in my head I'm thinking about sometimes I think about ways to develop how to make this process a lot smoother.
Hmm.
Like if I was like running the show in there, for example.
Okay.
So I think that's why sometimes I'm not patient because I feel like if especially like if it's in a situation I've been in before, such
Yeah.
as the food service thing, I've done that before.
Yeah.
I have some type of idea on how it works. So it's not to say I'm like just some a hole that's like, bro, hurry up, and I have no feelings. But it's like it's in a
Right.
situation where I know how it can be handled. I'm like, it shouldn't be taking this long.
Yeah.
But I think I'm patient in like some things, but like not everything. It's just or sometimes I feel like I can be like too patient,
Mm.
but then it gets to a point where I feel like I'm being so patient. Like it's kind of like my mom says, like I have this like thing where it's like I'll be like really nice and patient, and then randomly one day out of the blue I'll just blow up because I'm
Oh.
just not patient because I've just like had
Yeah.
enough, and then
That's because then it's an act.
not an act. It's
Because I
more
feel like
like
then it's not genuine
the
if you blow up later.
patience.
Yeah.
No, not later.
I
As
feel
in, like,
like
okay, let's say you didn't have a car
okay.
and you needed me to pick you up at 7 a.m. every morning to drive you to work.
Uh-huh.
Maybe like a month in of me doing that, I would maybe like explode and just be like, I don't know. It's
That's
not like not
that's different.
patient.
That's
It's
being taken advantage of.
well, it's like if you're my friend, like
Yeah,
not
but
being
I
like
feel like
let's say I'm
friends
not
can
taking advantage of, like just say like patient. I don't know. That's just my example. I don't know. Like
that's definitely something that builds for
yeah, like
sure.
if I can't like
But that's something that you might not genuinely want to be doing. And that's different.
yeah,
You don't
it's
have
definitely
to
something I genuinely don't want to be doing.
yeah, if you don't want to be doing it, that and patience is I feel like two different things.
Yeah, but I
Because then
feel
you're just pushing yourself
like
too
define what are you
much.
patient about? Like give me an example.
Hmm. I'll give you an example. So,
Like
like
with
when we have,
customers?
there's that. That's a big one. Being patient with customers, listening is a big one. Um, training. Like when you train people, you have to be patient. You have to understand that there will be mistakes,
Oh
but
yeah,
you
for
also have
sure.
to forgive and keep going. And no matter if they make that mistake 5 times, just understanding that at some point, it's going to work and you're going to do good and you're going to be confident in your abilities to be successful at this job. Because a lot of people, if you work with somebody who's impatient and you make one mistake and they're like done with you, you don't learn anything and you feel like you're going to get yelled at all the time. And I don't know, that's not a good feeling. Because, like, I think I'm also very empathetic. So I put myself in that person's shoes. Obviously, as someone who's a leader, you can tell who's going to be successful in the position, who's not. Obviously, if it's something that they've been trying for 5 days, 6 days, and they don't get it, and you don't think they're going to work well, you let them know that. But being patient during the training process is important because that allows them to grow, learn, and be confident. And if they're confident, they'll do it on their own. But if they're not, then they're going to be taking other like employees with them that we need in other places at certain times so they can get somebody's order done or something like that. So
Yeah.
I think there's two very different things. Also, speaking kindly, I feel like impatience go hand in hand. So I feel like when you're not patient, sometimes you can come off as rude. Not you, but like in general.
No, I'm rude.
Come off as rude, say things that you don't mean to say, or maybe you do mean it at the time, but it's not really nice. That's how you have people walk out on the job. That's how you have people get really mad, and if they can't control their anger, they're leaving. So I
Yeah.
feel like this happens a lot in the business, and I don't know, it's not really healthy. I feel like it's better to keep a safe, healthy environment. And to do that, you need patience. You need to talk to each other kindly. You need to applaud accomplishments. And you need to be genuine about it. Because if you're not genuine, not only can people read through you, like it's super transparent when you're not genuine, but it builds up, like you said, because it's
Mm-hmm.
something that you don't want to be doing. So it builds up, you go off, bad look. So I don't know. But I definitely feel like my leadership style, it works. It's very different than the previous leadership style, but sometimes a change is in a good way is good for the business. So
Mm.
I feel like I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but ever since I became a leader, it turned our score online went from 4.5 to 4.6. Now, it might not sound like a big deal,
4.7 all the way.
but exactly. If we can get 4.5 to 4.6, that means we can go from 4.6 to 4.7. And that
Well, I
means we
mean,
can keep
it is a
going.
pretty big deal
It
because
is.
it's 4.6 to 5, so there's not
There's not much
much.
left.
Yeah.
Like, I understand there's going to be people that comes in being super, like, pessimistic. Like, they walk in knowing that they want to create a problem. We have that happen a few times. But or they walk in knowing that they're not going to like something, or they just come in like with the wrong attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to bring it to like our employees' intention tomorrow and let them know like, hey, we went from 4.5 to 4.6. That's really good because out of the hundreds of reviews, like that's a big accomplishment. Like we can keep going. We
You
just
can get to
all
5.
yeah. I don't know if you can get to a perfect 5.
You
If
probably
you have
can, like
some
if it
people
like
that's like lower,
outweighs.
maybe
There's a lot of places that have a perfect 5, and they still have some bad
bad.
reviews. Yeah,
Huh.
but it just has to be like so many to the point where like
Get over.
yeah, because it's probably not like 100%, but it's probably like 99.6 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I try our best, or I try my best to have conversations with the staff and also to like um make the restaurant as best as it can be.
Hmm.
Like obviously we're consistent on the food part, but I'm talking about like
Yeah.
everything else. Like we were able to raise our health score by a whole point. Like there's a lot of things we're able to do, and that's because I'm investing as much as I physically can to make it a great place, not only for our staff, but for our customers and for everything. So everybody's happy at all times, or as off as much as humanly possible.
Hmm.
Because conflict will occur, but if we have a great solution in place, then if anything does happen, we can treat it where everybody will be like feel satisfied at the end of the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've had some conflicts with customers, but if we're able to talk to them and find a solution where they're happy and we're happy, then they're going to come back.
Hmm.
And we're going to be happy that they came back.
Hmm.
So, I forgot what I was going to say or what led to that. But oh, patience feels pretty good. Goes a long way. I have a lot of I feel like a lot of our coworkers don't have a lot of patience, but I don't think I've had as much as I do now. Um, until living with him.
Hmm.
So I think it comes with age and time. Some people don't ever get patient. But I don't know. If you want to, you have to be genuine about it because fake patience is just going to lead you to explode.
I wouldn't say mine's is fake. I just.
It's it's not fake, but if you don't want to be doing it and you don't want to be patient,
But I feel like if you're patient, you're only patient. You can only be patient if you don't want to do it. Mm. Like, okay, like so, like let's say I asked you to go to the movies with me.
okay,
If it's a movie we both want to watch,
yeah.
you're not gonna think about, oh, what time is it over? How long do I have to be here? Blah blah blah.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
But like,
Yeah,
if it's a movie I want to watch and you don't, but you're only gonna go see it with me because you're my friend, then you're gonna be like, okay, what time is it over? Like, how long does it last? Like, are we? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
but I feel like
you're
that's
gonna be patient,
temporary.
but like,
I
you're
feel
not
like,
patient
yeah,
unless you don't want to do something. Does that make sense?
yeah, no, it makes sense.
Because it's like you're going out of your
But
way.
what if you like enjoy what you're doing? You're very passionate about it,
But why?
but maybe
What?
the other end is taking a little bit of time.
But then that part you don't want to be doing, so you have to be patient for that part. Does
Yeah,
that
you
make
don't want to be
sense?
waiting on them for
Like
sure.
cooking and eating, for like when you want to eat, the best part is the
It's
actual
the
eating.
actually eating. Yeah,
But you got to be patient until it is ready, and then, or even like ordering food, you got to wait until the guy
yeah.
or girl gets here,
Hmm.
and then yeah. So I feel like you can only be patient when it's something you don't like.
That's a cool point. I never thought of it that way.
Big IQ.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow. Hmm.
So you just heard, guys. She's only patient at her job, which means she doesn't like her job.
No, I
I'm kidding.
love my
I'm
job.
kidding.
That's what's the hard part about it is like I'm confused because I have this degree. I want to be doing these
I
things,
feel like you
but I'm
just.
so happy at where I'm at, and I
I feel
don't
like
feel like I'm
you
working.
think that you need to use the degree, but if you don't want to use it, you don't have to.
I don't.
I feel like it's just like a
Like I
safety
loved
net.
it. It was a safety net.
Like I feel like if I get do inshallah when I
Yeah.
do, I wouldn't necessarily be using it like I wouldn't say not at all, but like not using it a ton. Like I just
Right.
it wouldn't like be that beneficial to me because it's like it's just but it's like I think it sets you apart though because I feel like if we didn't go to school,
Hmm.
even if we didn't go to master's degree school, graduate school, even if we didn't go to
Hmm.
graduate school, I feel like we'd be two like completely different people in terms
That's
of
true.
like knowledge.
Is it weird that I view it as a chapter of life that I've experienced, but it passed?
Yeah, because I feel like it's cool for people to say like, "Oh, you shouldn't go to college," and like it's a waste of time.
I don't think it's a
But
waste of
like, I
time at
feel like it's
all.
like a lot of
You grow so much in
yeah, grow a
college.
lot, and it's like people are like you can just go straight into the workforce. But I'm like, you have all the time in your life to go to work. I think it's like a thing where it's like 33 or 35% of your life
Yeah.
is working. So like, why? What's the
Start.
rush?
Yeah.
And then it's even if you do go into straight work, like you're not gonna be working on like the most glamorous places like at
Hmm.
18 or something or even like 16. You're either gonna be like working at like some factory or fast food or whatever. So it's like
I'm smiling because you listed your jobs. Sorry.
there's not really anything else. Like to be
Um,
like if you have no experience, like not to say anything's wrong with those jobs. I'm just saying like they're not
it's
like the
just so
most
weird.
glamorous things to be doing. I'm being honest.
I just think it's so weird because I dedicated my a large amount of time of my life to my degree, like, or at least the topic.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool just to say you have one.
That's true.
Like I feel like I think part of the reason why I wanted to go to graduate school too is during my graduation. Like how like you said the thing where you always want to be the best. I
Yeah.
have that like same type of thing too, but only for things that I want to do. I only want to be the best at things I like. I don't like to be the best. Like for example, don't want to brag, but I memorized 500 of pi when I was only like 11, and then
Yeah.
But the reason I did so many, besides having such a giant brain, is because I kept telling myself like I started off with like maybe like 50 or 100, and was like, okay, what if somebody's like, what if somebody has like 101, and then I'm like, okay, let's
Yeah.
just make it 200, and then it's like, even at 500, I was still like, dude, what if somebody has like 550 or something, and then I was
Mhm.
like, I gotta like even like you just feel like it's not enough,
Yeah.
but what was I talking about before? I was gonna like tie it in.
The best of the best.
Oh, like so yeah. When I was at my graduation, the undergrad graduation,
Oh, you saw
the
the black.
school, yeah, like the school, the all the undergrad people wear blue
Yeah.
um cap and gowns, and
Mhm.
the
Masters
masters
wore
wear
black.
black, and the PhD people wear black, but it's black suede. So luckily it's the same color. So I don't want a PhD thing. But I was like, but there was like only maybe 30 to at most 50 master's degree
Yeah.
students graduating, while there was quite literally like
Hundreds
maybe
of.
1,000.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel, not to say it's still a very big accomplishment, but it's like it didn't feel as special anymore because I'm like, dude, if all these people can do it, and imagine how many like universities there are
Mhm.
around the United States, around the world, of people who can do this, is it like it's not that much, it's not that special I felt anymore because I'm just like I'm one of these 1,000 when I could be one of the 50. And then
Right.
so I was like, dude, I want a black robe. So then it kind of persuaded me to be like, maybe like a bachelor's to me isn't
Yeah.
enough. And but you just even to like just to say, because I don't look at it, I look at it more as like a certificate rather than a,
Degree.
yeah, like it's
Mm.
like an achievement award type thing. Because like let's say we both don't do in the future, or you currently, with your degree, but it's still like a certificate you can have. It's still something on your resume. It's still something
Mhm. You did.
that you did. It's still something that's like a conversation starter.
Yeah.
People look
100%.
at you differently because I think it's cool too to have different experiences
Mhm.
with whatever you're doing. Like even though you're like in the restaurant business, it's still cool to say like, oh, I have a master's degree in kinesiology, even though it has like nothing to do with
Mhm.
restaurant. It's still something like, oh, like this person's like they have like a pretty cool like achievement about
Yeah.
themselves, something that you didn't know they had. Like even like when people have different hobbies, like if somebody likes to play basketball and play video games, it's like, oh, like you like to play video games too. That's cool. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's good to have different like stuff aligned.
I think the only important thing about it too is like having a goal at every age. So like you can't be like, oh, we're still young, we have the whole life ahead of us, which we do. But
Yeah,
if you're saying that as an excuse to not having any goals or plans in life, then it's like,
yeah, because it's like, what are you gonna be
uh,
doing now then?
yeah, it's like, okay, what do you do now? Oh, I'm doing this temporary thing that I hate, and
Because there
like,
are things you
it's like,
can't
why are
do
you
at a
doing
certain
that?
age. You can't have kids at a certain age.
Yeah,
You can't.
or it's like harder and riskier.
Yeah, like you. There's a lot of things that age does limit. So it's
That's
like
true.
you have to take
Reality.
you have to take advantage of the time now.
I've watched this pod where well, it wasn't a pod. It was like an
Cheating on her
inspirational.
pod
Yeah, it
with
wasn't
another
a pod.
pod.
It was an inspirational quote.
Actually, I've been ridiculed. Apparently, it's not cool to call a podcast a pod.
Well, I think it's pretty
It's what the
cool.
kids are saying now.
Well, I was gonna say something mean. I was gonna say the kids can shut up. I like calling
The
it the
kids can
pod.
go
I
f
think it's cool.
themselves.
uh, what was I gonna say? Damn it! Oh, it was an inspirational quote, and they were talking about how we're at the best age of our lives if we're not already tied down to something at being 20, because this is a time where,
You're tied down to him.
well, yeah, but I chose that. Uh, we can literally do whatever we want. This is the time where we can start something. But you start something at any age.
Fail something.
Fail, and that's the biggest thing is like you can fail now, but that's good because failure obviously leads to success at some point. Everybody failed at some point. So, yeah, he was like, this is like the best time to not be tied down to a
Giant
job.
responsibilities.
Or giant responsibilities. You can literally do so many things.
But aren't you tied down to a lot of giant responsibilities?
I am right now. Was it a plan of mine?
So you're being a hypocrite
Yes,
now.
but at some point, no. I think I still have goals. I'm still doing the best, like doing things to make myself better, like serve safe. I got certified not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that to make myself better. And like I'm doing a lot of things for, the workplace to make it better.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is I just don't want to be miserable with whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that one internship I told you about that I did 2 years ago, which was my last paid employment. Because now I'm doing something that's unpaid. Um, it was I was just like, so it was supposed to be like about I think a month and a half or 2 month internship. I only had 3 weeks left, so I think I did like 5 weeks. So it's supposed to be 8 weeks. I did five,
Okay.
and I realized day two that I did not like the duties of the
Mhm.
internship, but I liked the people I was working with. So I felt like it would be. I honestly just tell myself like I'd feel bad if I left after they've been so nice to me, like in 2 days. And I was like, let me at least give it more of a try. Maybe I'll grow to like it.
Right.
But then I just like it became a thing where I just like I started like actually like hating going to work. I was very disinterested on whatever they told me.
Mm.
I just realized how boring it is to be working at like an actual bank, and it's quite literally like really dull. And
Yeah.
the best part about it was like the customer service part. So the best part about it is technically the like lowest position there, which is like becoming a bank teller. But to me,
Mm.
that was the most fun
Yeah.
at the whole job because it's like I actually got to like talk to people, like make jokes with them.
That's how I feel going to work every day.
Yeah,
I love what I do because I'm able to talk to so many people and like I don't know, I have a great time at work. I don't feel like I'm working.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like the talking to people was like my favorite part,
Right.
and then you get like your usuals and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and
Jeff.
then Jeff.
Jeff.
um,
Jeff's my favorite.
Me too. No, I'm kidding. But so I that was my favorite part. But then when I started like learning the other positions, the two other higher ones, I was like, I can't. Like I can't like just do. I can't do this. Like this is not exciting at all. And um, I just started like hating going to work. Found myself going in late. Not gonna lie, sometimes. And then I'd like sleep in my car on lunch breaks, or I
Mm.
would like take break. So like like 9 to 5, I'd take my break at like 2. That way I come back in at 3, and I only have to be like, okay, I only have 2 hours left, and I can get out of here.
Mm.
And then, but so then 5 weeks in, when the people started being like different and weird and stuff, and they were just essentially telling me how I wasn't like. So it was like at the end of every week you get a review on your progress. And I had a great review at the end of every week, but the fifth week I didn't have one. I was like, okay, well, if I don't get even now they're saying I'm not doing a good job. So I was like, and I don't really care. So it's like I don't want to continue this anymore, like
Right.
type thing, because I don't see myself doing this as a career,
Right.
and I don't really care to have it on my resume or not because I was like I don't want to do this anymore, and it's still on the resume by the way, but
Mm-hmm.
uh so then I stopped. But then I noticed, I told myself, like, maybe I've been, like, wasting too much time, like, working. Like, I think I worked, like, 9 different jobs from since I was 16 till now. And, well, no, maybe like 12 now with this internship that I'm doing now. But, I did too much and I need, like, some time to think.
Right.
Um, so I think jobs just, they take, like, while doing school, I think sometimes it takes too much time from your like I wasn't focused
Mm-hmm.
on everything else. It's just work, school, and it's like for a job that I don't even plan on like doing in the future. Like it's not going to be my career. It's just a job for now,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like it's not. I felt like it's just not worth wasting more time if I don't need to be doing it. You know, more often, or like continuously. So I think,
No.
but I think it was good that I got all that experience from those different like 11, 12 jobs because
Internships are important because of that. Like, I feel like I had 3 or 4 before I realized maybe this isn't for me.
I think internships are good and bad. They're good because depending on the internship, they're good because they give you a taste of what the field
Right.
is like. But they're bad because it's not like an actual real experience. Like the one I had, for example, it was a lot of like Zoom calls and like online courses.
Oh,
Like,
that's weird.
yeah, so it was
Mine was
very
like
like,
shadowing.
yeah, there was some shadowing, but it was just mainly like a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of courses you have to do online and a lot of uh like quizzes and stuff like that. So it was very like weird, like weirdly struck. It almost felt just like kind of like doing school with work at the same time.
That's really weird.
So it was very like a interesting, horrible experience. But
Yeah, mine was shadowing, and I shadowed like a lot of doctors because I was pre med before. So I shadowed dermatology, and then I shadowed. I never shadowed an esthetician, but I did dermatology, plastic surgery, and I did something else as well. And then I realized like I tweaked it every year because we were able to, thank God. So I started dermatology, and I thought it'd be more like acne and skin stuff,
mhm.
but it was definitely more like skin cancer and like working with older people, which, if it's up your alley, that's great, but it wasn't up mine because I thought I was going to work with like people with acne, but it was just not what I expected at all, like the reality of the job. And I smelled like burnt skin every day because we cut off like the possible skin cancers and would send it to the lab,
Mm.
but we'd cut it and we'd use like burn. So every day I smelled like burnt skin. And I was like, maybe this isn't what I want. And it wasn't the burnt skin that threw me off. It was more of the skin cancers and like the population that dermatologists really work with. And I was like, I don't think this is for me. So then I was like, oh, maybe it's plastic surgery that I want. Went to plastic surgery, and I just watched a lot of like lip fillers and um what is it? Liposuction. And I was like, oh, this might be a little bit too cosmetic for me. I wanted to do more of like a service thing.
Mm.
Um so then I was like, oh, I maybe this isn't the right field. But I think at the end of the day it was an esthetician that I wanted to become. Because when
Yeah.
she brought me in her room because it was connected to the dermatologist area, I was like, oh, and she was like telling me about the skin peels, and the way I lit up in that room is like unlike any other place.
I hate the shadowing part too. I feel like you can
Really? I really
shadow.
liked it.
I
I
feel
just
like I like it to a degree. Like back to the patience thing. It's like,
I like it if you have a good if you have someone who's willing to have you walk in on things.
well, my thing is like
Like
the
the
shadowing.
plastic
It's like
surgery was the most like
I want to do shadowing to
intense.
the point where it's like I don't want to. I want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be shadowing 24/7. I'd
Yeah,
rather just
yeah.
like when you were talking about like your employees, like when you bring new ones in,
Mhm.
you like you shadowed, but then you stick them in
Yeah, I
the
stick them
field.
in the field, yeah.
But like that's what I like. Like I don't want to be shadowing somebody 24 because that gets boring. And
Yeah, and
then
then you don't really
I don't pay
learn.
attention. I can't
Yeah,
pay
exactly.
attention. And then, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I like my internship now, the one I
Mhm.
do specifically because
Cuz you're doing the work.
yeah, it's more so like I'm actually doing the work. I'm not
Right.
like really shadowing anybody, and I have like creative control.
Mhm.
So I like that. But so that's kind of like where I like with jobs too. Like I kind of like this
They
sounds pretty
probably take
bad,
you
but I
more
don't want to like answer
seriously.
to anybody.
Yeah, no, that's not bad. I feel like
Like I'd rather be trusted
right.
because there's pros and cons to it. It's not like just like oh you can do whatever you want and then you still have to get the work done and do it on time and stuff like
Right.
that. And when you're like given like creative control, like all the ideas are on you, which is another like it's a pro and
Con.
a con because it's
Yeah.
like you know,
It's
sometimes it's
good to
harder
be
to come up with
independent.
ideas than others.
Yeah,
But I feel like it's
but it's isolation.
yeah, because I feel like in terms of like working on things, I think I genuinely like working alone rather than with people.
Yeah.
Unless it's like the only time I really like working with people is like if I'm leading them.
Mm. So
But
you're a
then
leader.
yeah, but then sometimes leading people can be aggravating too.
Yeah.
But I think it's like I'd rather work if I had to work with people, I'd rather lead them. But if um I'm definitely not a follower. I don't like to follow anything. But
Mm.
if I had the choice between working with people or working with myself, I'd rather work by myself. But
Right.
um yeah. So
I think this was a really good conversation.
all right, that means she's ending the conversation.
I think
Luckily, I
it
don't
was
have
really
much
good.
more to say.
But we'll say more next week.
A lot more.
So stay tuned.
Goodbye.
No, do your exit.
Hold on. I gotta get up.